Okay, welcome to another episode of Panakal Podcast for Geeks. I didn't make an announcement about this one because I didn't think anyone was available this week, but Carey is available, and he and I both were watching, have caught up on Falcon and Winter Soldier, episode 4, which I thought was probably the best episode they've had so far.
Agreed.
Mainly because you're waiting for that like Marvel level action to start happening. And we got two really good fight sequences in there.
Yeah.
What's the name of that group from Wakanda? Dorma Milat.
Mirage.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what I'm talking about. I just don't remember what they're called. I'm saying it wrong. Is what it is. I don't want to insult them.
Diamond. Damn it. It's funny.
Oh, here it is.
Dora
Milaje. Yeah, Dora Milaje.
I actually practiced saying that about 30 minutes ago before we started.
And you still managed to fuck it up. Good job. Give me 1 second. As always, I just want to make sure that it's showing up as live on YouTube and the channels. But yeah, so those two fight sequences I thought were amazing. Especially the one with the Dora Milaje. Got it. That sequence was awesome. Like I was so excited for it, just to where she spins the spear around her head to get everybody to back off, and then she throws it forward. I was like, okay, that's a very well choreographed fight sequence. Yeah. And where they threw the spear perfectly through the dude's shield. Yeah, so he couldn't get it off the table. And I'm just like, and then he was just like, those weren't even super soldiers, And it's like,
dude, that was such, yeah.
Okay, there is an echo effect now, I think. So, let's see. That can be solved with you just turning your volume down 1 or 2 notches.
No, that was because I was trying.
Oh, you were testing the audio for me. Got it.
I was looking over and I was like, oh, let me turn it.
Got it.
Try to turn it down inside YouTube, and it turned all my audio down. So.
It's all good. Okay.
Looks and sounds good.
Good. We're in business. People got to be tired of me every time testing. No, I'm still testing the audio. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to invest in. My friend told me to invest in a hub that controls everything. So it's all one button. So how I have to constantly go through and type in things or start things, do all that. It's all just so I can be like a professional. Just press the buttons, But back to the show. So yeah, I liked, what I really enjoyed was I really liked how the show John Walker, you could see him just slowly falling apart.
Yes.
He's starting to realize these dudes are superheroes. I'm just a dude who maybe got lucky, because he goes, when he's talking to his friend, he says the stuff we did in Afghanistan, or, they gave us medals for it, but he's like, I don't feel comfortable with the medals we got,
Yeah.
And he's literally asked his friend, he goes, what would you do if you could take the serum? And his friend literally was like, I would do it right away. And I'm just like, oh, you just gave your buddy an open ticket to go take the serum.
Absolutely. And it was that conversation was kind of like a dark mirror interpretation of the same conversation that Zemo and Sam had. Remember, Zemo asked Sam, would you take it? He says, no. He's like, no hesitation.
Yeah, he literally says no hesitation. So you can see you could see the differences between Sam and the other person,
And that's it. Walker, whatever his name is, that I think that's probably the heart of the show. Is showing us really what makes Captain America Captain America.
Yep. And you could tell, I'm trying to decide, if they're going to lean into the, you and I were talking about this before, if they're going to lean into the U.S. agent side of things. Mm-hmm. But I feel like since they basically made this dude a villain at the end there, right? I'm trying to remember if U.S. agent was as dastardly as this guy.
Yeah, there's
I remember him being kind of like a racist.
There was Now, I wasn't heavy into Marvel when I was a kid, but I did pick up a few issues during that arc, and
Okay.
he was a bad dude.
Yeah.
He tarnished the legacy of Captain America, and um,
So he probably did kill somebody. That was one of those storylines. I now I am interested. I should admit it. I'm now interested in rereading it or reading it. I never really got into it because in my head I was like, I'm probably like the other fans. Like, there's only one Captain America, like,
yeah,
and he's dead,
yeah,
or got shot by a time bullet.
Yeah.
Anyone who knows that storyline.
I don't. I'm out of the loop on that.
Oh, when Captain America in the comic books got assassinated, he wasn't really dead. He was in stasis. He got like, it's so long. So anyone watching can correct me if I'm wrong on this. But basically, he didn't die. He got stuck in like a time loop or like stasis. So he's just like still, but still alive. But to anyone looking at him, they're like, this dude just got killed. And that's when other people show up to take up the mantle, right? Like Bucky takes it up at one point, right?
Right.
And then I think now currently it's Falcon. So that's kind of what they're... Maybe? Did they come back? I don't remember. But point is, you can see now that you can see how like Sam is like, maybe I was too quick to give that shield away, right? Like,
oh yeah, man.
I mean,
yeah, and that's one of the things we talked about. And you guys may have talked about it on the last podcast. I haven't caught up on it yet, but
it's all good.
But that one scene where they're in the Captain America memorial. Mm-hmm. It's Sam and Bucky, and they're sitting there panning around, and see all the posters and everything, and Bucky is looking at a poster of Steve Rogers, going like that, saying, "I want you," and "you" is underlined in bigger font.
Yep.
Now, bonds is for war bonds or whatever, but that was a nod to us that Cap chose him.
Yep.
Specifically, and that's so I'm loving watching Sam realize that he should not have taken that so lightly. He should not have given up the shield. He should just listen to Steve.
Yeah, and sometimes it's one of those like. So now he's learning. So it's gonna be a little more meaningful when he picks it up versus like this thing was just handed to me, so I have to own up to it, right? Yeah. But I'm trying to remember. There's something else about the episode last night I really liked. I mean, obviously, I like the fight sequences, even the brief ones with the flag smashers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and when he chased that dude down, I'm like, he's gonna kill that guy. Like.
Yeah. Oh my God! When he goes smashing through the wall and lands on that van and everything.
Well, like you knew he took the serum when he bent the pipe.
Yeah.
And then that one dude was like, "Oh God!"
When he bedded the shield into the pillar, I was like, "Did he take the serum?" But they didn't really want to pay that off yet. And then he bent the pipe. I was like, "Ah!"
Yeah. You're like, "Yes, he did. He absolutely took the serum." Which, I thought it would have been nice to show some effects of him taking it. Which because like the thing is, you can see he's becoming who he's supposed to be. Like they say it. Like when Steve took it, Steve became himself, right? Like he became this patriotic, I always fight for the layman character, and I didn't like how I did enjoy how they don't give away that Isaiah is still alive. You and I are talking about this when Zemo's like there's only one Steve, and then nobody says anything like, oh, there's this other guy, so I wonder if that character will show up again at some point. Like,
better pay that off, man, because I swear to God, I jumped off the couch as soon as he said we're going to go see Isaiah, or he said, is Isaiah here, or something like that. I was like, no, it's him. I cannot wait, because I want that. I feel like it's an important...
His name's like Patriot or something, right? In the...
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And,
yeah. When he threw that stapler through the wall, I'm like, yep, that dude's built.
Yeah, I really want to see him come back and kick some ass. But one of the things that I had mentioned to you, and I wish I had picked this up on my own, but I got it from watching one of these breakdown things.
Sure. I mean, that's where some of my information comes from, too.
Sure. This one came from Dan Casey on Nerdist, but he was saying that, I can't remember the Flag Smasher's name, Nico or something like that, the guy that was hanging around. He tells, what's the girl's name? I can't remember her name.
Carey?
Carey? Okay.
Carly? Carly.
Carly, that's it.
Yeah.
He tells Carly, I used to look up to Captain America. I always looked up Captain America. So at the end of the episode, we see him literally looking up at
Right.
Captain America before he gets his head bashed in or chopped off or what the hell ever he did to him.
My guess is that head got chopped off.
That's kind of what I think.
Because he went down a couple times. I was just like,
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. When he did that, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be gruesome. And then they show him standing up after that blood all over the shield.
So that's an iconic shot from if you guys ever read Civil War. It's a shot from the first issue of Civil War. Cap standing there with the blood. I don't remember whose blood is on the shield, but Civil War is obviously when they separated the heroes. You know, and Iron Man was like, Captain America was like, you can't reveal your faces, and Iron Man's like, why not? You know, and so they kind of, I don't know. I mean, it's picking and choosing a shot, but that was you're like, that shield is full of blood. That dude is dead. Yeah. And then you see the Sam and Bucky, show up. Why can't I remember Bucky's first name?
Oh crap! Now you made me not be able to remember it.
Cool.
Whatever.
It's not a whatever. Let's find it. But whatever. I know.
What? Yeah.
Bucky Barnes, but what's Bucky's first name? Oh, James. Duh.
Yeah. There you go.
His middle name's Bachman. That's how you get Bucky. I forgot that. I did also like how. Here. Oh, James, thank you. I keep so Dreaming of Ghosts is watching us too. I keep forgetting that I got to go between Restream and Streamlabs doesn't always show me. Again, I'm gonna pay for Prime because it's all going through Restream when I stream to YouTube and blah blah whatever. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares to hear what I have to fix. But I did like how when he's fighting, she like programmed in crap and his arm fell off, and I was just like, I didn't know you could do that.
that was awesome, dude.
I thought that thing was like attached internally to the rest of his nervous system, and that's how he was able to like move his fingers and shit. But there's another piece there.
That plug right there.
Yeah, there's another like adapter essentially stuck inside of him. You see it like go back in there. You know what? I honestly thought he was gonna be without that for a minute. Like I thought, oh god, is he gonna run on the rest of this episode with no arm? Because that would horrible. That would be horrible. Here, I just came up with
a good story, but they didn't go that way.
Yeah, they didn't. I mean, whatever. That I feel like they're showing you that because they want you to know that effect is there.
Yeah.
I don't know what purpose it serves, but
did Zemo see it happen?
Zemo, he pieced out, man. What did they say? He Kaiser Sose the situation or something. I forget what they said. I didn't. You know what? That sequence, I didn't catch that he went through the sewers at first.
Yeah.
I was like, is there a secret door that I missed? Like, that's how stupid I am, right? I'm not even looking at the door. I was like looking at the tub and stuff. I'm like, is there something I didn't see there? Like, and then I saw the sewer lid. I'm like, oh, so he went through the sewers. And my guess is he's going to go back to those kids who aren't, because he told that girl, remember, he said, these two guys are evil. I'm your friend. And so my guess is but then again, he's Zemo, so he's probably got some kind of hookup somewhere, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people have been online and stuff rumoring that Sharon Carter might be the power broker.
Yeah.
I
don't think so.
I don't think so either. I'm sorry I segued away from Zemo, but I just had a random thought there. She's a very important character. She might be the one she becomes a character at some point too. She becomes like, I think maybe she's the one that's called a Patriot. I forget all the code names because there's so many of them. But I don't think they're gonna make her bad because she's been through so much crap. So that is an angle. You can be like, she's been through so much crap that now she's a bad guy. But I don't think she is. She helped take down S.H.I.E.L.D. She helped Captain America and Sam when they needed the help. She's helping Sam and Bucky right now. So I feel like she was a contact for Nick Fury. So I do feel like she's working with Nick Fury and she's working her own angle. Like, she didn't want them to get that one individual killed in, is it Mandabar? I always forget where they are. It's not Mandabar.
We forget all about it. You mean where the story's taking place?
Where that crime syndicate and stuff is living on the secret island or whatever it's called.
Right.
Come on, Dreaming of Ghosts, help me out here, man.
I know that most of the action's taking place in Latvia, which as soon as they said, I was like, Doctor Doom, no, that's Latveria.
Correct. I had the same exact thought. I was immediately scrambling to be like, where does Doctor Doom live? You know, like, and then I was like, oh, Latveria. But there was another rumor that, Zemo is playing chess with Doom in that cell, and also people were saying how like Sokovia and stuff might now have been like scooped up by surrounding areas, and part of Sokovia might become Latvia, and like.
Dude, I'm so hoping that that's the case, because I said to my wife last night we were watching it, I was like, I'm getting Doctor Doom vibes here. She's like, well, who's gonna be Doctor Doom? I'm like, I don't know. I don't think we've seen him yet. I'm just feeling it.
My theory,
a Doctor Doom atmosphere.
I would love it if, because the Power Broker is like a whatever character in the Marvel universe, right? He's just there. He does give he gives the super serum to damn it, Lamar. I believe he's the one who gives John Walker's friend Lamar the serum. Lamar, as far as we're concerned right now, is dead. So, but I was just like, really, you're gonna have this classic character who should have a bigger role, and he's basically a token black dude running around with this guy. Doesn't say much. He's more like a moral compass for John Walker, but then they kill him. Like, he didn't really have much of a... He literally stopped Carly from kicking John Walker, and then John Walker threw him into a wall and he dies. But in the comic books, the Power Broker, I believe, gives him some abilities, and that happens. But my theory is Doom... What's that?
I think that's still on the table, because no one has explicitly said he's
sure.
dead.
He might just be out cold, and then that dude lost his cool, right? I get it. It's a good angle.
It could have broken his neck. He might be dead, and they're gonna.
Oh my God! They're gonna bring him back to life. Yeah.
Yeah, or we get a zombie, Battlestar.
That would be amazing, and that name is not cool. But I feel like maybe Doom, because you say you're getting Doom vibes, and I feel like Doom might be the Power Broker, because instead of wasting that character, you literally just be like, that's the code name I've been using.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
I do want to see some Doom already, because they hinted at it in WandaVision. You got like Fantastic Four hints in WandaVision. You haven't gotten... This is the one problem I've been having with this show, is I haven't gotten too many Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple things here and there, but not as many as... I mean, WandaVision... excuse me, I got the hiccups. WandaVision, it was like every couple minutes you were like, oh shit, like...
Yeah.
The Darkhold, like stuff like that.
Right.
And with this one, I'm like... when Wakanda showed up, I was like, oh... Like, when you found the little... orb, I was just like, oh crap, like it's very specifically tuned to his hearing, so I don't know, man.
I feel where you're coming from with the it feels like we're missing Easter eggs. There's not and that's okay, because the show shouldn't be about Easter egg, but they did lace up the ending title sequence. There's tons of Easter eggs in that. But
you're talking about the end credits?
Every episode. Do what?
You're talking about the end credits?
Yeah.
What did you catch in the end credits? Because I think I missed...
Oh, shit, man. I don't remember.
Oh. What the hell are you doing on the show, then?
I can't remember what it was, man. But I remember...
I'm pulling up my notes. I forgot my iPad, which is where I keep all my notes, so I'll tell you what I got.
Yeah, there was 2 or 3 things in the end credits. I was like, oh my god, there's that and there's that. But I'm blanking on it now.
Yeah, there was something I saw.
Let's see here.
Documents.
I do have this device that is connected to all the published information in the world. So let me see if I can put that to use.
I actually have a Google Doc.
Google, yeah, that's what it's called.
There he is. So what I wrote was... Let's see. So let's see. We talked about this already. That's not helpful. Blood on the Shield. We talked about that.
The Enhanced Humans Act. Do you think we're going to see Thunderbolt Ross? That was the first person I thought of when they said the Power Broker. I was like, Thunderbolt. But I don't think it's going to be him.
The Major? The Major?
Is he still a Major? Or is he... I thought he had been promoted or something. I'm out of my depth here talking about that stuff. But...
Side note, I did like how he uses Turkish... So I wrote a thing here. How he used Turkish Delight to get the kids to do his bidding. Kind of like the White Witch in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah.
And Edmund totally... I remember when I read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe as a kid, I was like, this motherfucker betrayed his whole family for some goddamn candy. I'm like, yo, you're supposed to be a future king. Get your shit together, man. Let's see.
Yeah, but they set him up as an unhappy kid, though, so that was just the thing that pushed him over the edge.
I guess. His unhappy kid wanted to be the king of kings.
Yeah. Past Power Broker watching. Man, there's a lot of them. I'm sitting here scrolling down a thing on Nerdist about the Easter eggs in the credits. There's a bunch of them.
Just go read some.
All right, so we've got the Enhanced Human Act. It shows a little clip or like a little blurb.
Yeah, the clipping, right? I remember that.
Yeah. Then there is something about the Sokovia Accords. That's why I was thinking. That's why I thought Thunderbolt, because of the Sokovia Accords. It refers to the Flag Smashers, Brass Monkey.
What's Brass Monkey?
It's the one of the graffiti shots shows us an angry ape outline. This is almost certainly referencing the Bronze Monkey / Brass Monkey Saloon. Something. New trailer shows was a moment for X fans, as it confirms that the show will include Madripoor.
Madripoor, that's the place I'm in.
That was it. And that's in that where I'm thinking of the '90s X-Men cartoon. Madripoor is where like Charles would hang out with what's her name, the doctor that.
Yeah, Moira.
Moira, that's it, and Banshee was there and all that.
Dude, on a side note, for that, speaking of Moira, if you haven't read Power of X or House of X and Powers of X yet, Moira's storyline in there is insane. Like so let me try to break down. Anyone who's listening might enjoy this. Her mutant ability is, so she's born and she grows up and she has all these memories. She dies. Let's just say she's in her 20s and she gets hit by a bus and she's dead. She gets reborn with all those memories still, and then she can change. Like, she's essentially reborn in a different time stream, this is where it gets bananas. And she can change the outcome each time to try. So in her initial time stream, I'll try to do this in layman's terms so it's not so complicated, but in her initial time stream, she hates mutants. So she tries to find a cure to stop mutants. But mutants show up and kill her, but tell her to remember they did that. So in her next time stream, she goes and finds Xavier and tells him what's going on. And she ends up hating him initially and then loving him and then dies again. Comes back, realizes that plan didn't work. And then she just keeps rinsing and repeating things until she gets onto it. And she has she does this 9 or 10 times, I believe. And then there's one perfect, either on one stream, she actually joins forces with Magneto, realizes Magneto's not the key because he fails because the X-Men stop him. And another one, she joins up with Apocalypse. And, it's insane. And it's
Does she always look the same?
She's always, the character herself always looks the same until she advances to whatever she's trying to. So in one of the time streams, she goes after the guy who creates the Sentinels because she realizes that mutants aren't her enemies, right? So she tries to join up with Magneto and then Apocalypse, and she tries to tell Magneto and Apocalypse how humans are going to be the ones to destroy all the mutants, and then they figure out the Sentinels. So she tries to stop the the family lineage of the people that create the Sentinels. But then the crazy thing is the Sentinels become self-aware and they take care of the business. So basically, it's a little bit of like string theory, I guess, I think is what says like whatever's meant to happen is still going to happen, whether you shift it or not. It's certain things have to still occur for other things to move forward. So it's kind of like that. And it's just bananas thing about like, because when she's born again to this, like her, it doesn't say, I don't remember if it says she's born to the same parents. But when she's born again, she's born with all those memories still. So even as a kid, so you basically have this like ridiculously smart like 3-year-old running around, right? And the parents are like, something's up with this kid. And it's like, I've been a scientist, I've been an assassin, I've been a hired gun, like I've been like all these jobs, and it's all like banking in her head still. It's like, wow. It's a wild storyline, and it's all built into the House of X. Because she finally figures out the timeline that they need to like adjust to like save, mutants and stuff. Save. I put quotes on that.
I get that, man. I haven't read it,
dude.
That's cool. It sounds like we're getting a little bit of Groundhog Day, a little bit of Doctor Who, a little bit of Butterfly Effect.
Yep. And I'm like, I read that and I thought the writers that have to like keep this timeline in order. I just vogued, by the way. Have to be losing their minds because, all right, let's get back to Captain America. I want to do a whole episode on X-Men because I feel like House of X, I occasionally get pulled back into X comics and House of X, Powers of X. Right now I'm actually reading Excalibur, something I haven't read in years. It's so good.
Yeah.
So
I never read Excalibur. But it always caught my eye, but I never had that extra 75 cents to buy the comic.
I know that feeling, man. I know that feeling.
But so to get us from X-Men back into the episode, or back to this show anyway.
Yeah.
First or second episode, they're standing in front of a gate with what looks like the X-Men logo. What the hell is that about?
Wait, what part of the episode?
It was, I can't remember. It was not this episode. It was episode 1 or 2. There's a scene where they are. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared. I didn't plan on mentioning this, but they're standing in front of a gate, and it's got this big circle with an X in the middle of it. And I want to say it had something to do with the Flag Smashers as we were getting to know them.
Well, there's rumors that there's somebody I forget, I think it was Reddit maybe, somebody hinted that there was a call sign or a throwback to Nightcrawler. And I didn't see it. So unless someone can confirm that for me, I'm wondering if that's just a sign or just a coincidence that it's an X. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a circle with an X, so it might not be anything. But dude, I typed into Google and it's not seeing it. I swear to God, it's in there. Because I pointed out to my wife and kids. I was like, look, is that we have X-Men coming? What is this?
I mean, they've been hinting at an X story arc since WandaVision, and you can tease me all you want, but you better fucking give me an X-Men show or movie, Let's see. Walker talks about his past in the military, calling it the worst day of his life. And then I wrote down John from the comics, who is literally known as... So, according to my notes here, and I forget where, I think I pulled this from one of the websites, but it says... presumably we get to see flashbacks of exactly what happened in the last 2 episodes. All the feels are nuanced when the version of John from the comics, who is known as Super Patriot before becoming Captain America, and was an unquestioning lover of all things American. Mm-hmm. It was awkward to see Captain America brandishing a gun with a shield.
Although we saw that in Captain America: The First Avenger.
He does, right?
But only during World War II.
Mm-hmm.
So like when he busts in with the Howling Commandos and he's like,
he's like,
shield up his 45 out, yeah. So it's happened.
I like this line.
When he woke up in 2000 whatever, he didn't use a gun from then on. I don't think.
Is that what it was? Okay. There's no end. What am I end credit stuff, man?
Damn, I wish I could find this picture. I'm trying to get a screen grab of that gate with the logo on it, but I can't.
We'll look it up later and post it if we have to.
All right.
I got Zemo. I'm trying to think. I had taken some notes on Zemo too.
Dude, he has become one of the funnest things to watch in the show.
He was never, like the thing is that character in the movies and in the shows, he was never like this. I better turn that down. He was never pure evil. I mean, maybe he was in the comic books, but in the movies they made him kind of like, he's mad, right? They killed his family. So essentially he was like, this super soldier program for starters is dangerous. Like no one should be. Like when he saw that serum and he's like, is this what I think it is? I was like, oh dude, is he just going to collect that stuff? But then he starts stepping on it.
Dude, that was such a nice payoff. They built up the tension by having him sit there and stare at it. And then he starts crushing. I was like, yes.
I was like, okay, he definitely does not like it.
Dude, how did he not die when he got whanged in the head with Cap's shield?
I don't get that. And you know what the thing is?
Orbital bone.
We see him throw that thing all the time, and I don't think I've seen it hit somebody in the face yet. So it's kind of nice to be like, boing. He does not have just a giant cut across his face.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the guy wasn't a super soldier when he threw it, right?
Headache later on, but that's it.
Well, Walker's not serumed up when he threw it. He hasn't had the serum yet.
Oh yeah, because that's where he finds it. Yeah, that's a good point. But still, man, if I threw a trash can lid at your face,
yeah, you better run really fast after you do that.
Or maybe, like I said, he just lobbed it. He's like, don't do that.
Yeah,
bang.
I'm not gonna just be like, oh my head. I'm gonna be like, somebody tell me where Carey is. Apparently I didn't take that many good notes on the end credits, man. I thought I had something here. This is basically all my notes so far are everything we already discussed.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, right? Like, the end credits on WandaVision were, they had specific names in there. So I was looking at the names too, right? But I didn't really see anything that stuck out. I liked. Oh, that's it. So there's my other note. I liked how they showed Bucky going through the lessons, and they show her saying the words that would trigger the Winter Soldier sequence. Yeah,
that was so good, man. And he's trying so hard not to.
And his music, Winter Soldier's soundtrack is amazing. Like the song specific to him. Yeah, and you see it, and then it doesn't happen, and he's like, "Oh," she's like, "You're free," and he's like, "Cool." Yeah. Awesome. And I like how they call him the White Wolf.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other note I had here. It's like, I love how he speaks Wakandan. Wakandian? Wakandan? Wakanda. So Wakandian.
I think it's Wakandan, but I'm not sure.
Sure. Wakandan.
I think that's it.
Sure. Let's just go with that for now until someone corrects me. I did, I had to, reverse, I had to rewind a little bit to be like, because she speaks to him in, I believe, Russian when she first shows up, right?
Yeah, because doesn't she say, Do Svidonya or something like that?
Yeah, she says something to him in Russian, and then he says something back, and I was sitting there I'm like, I don't think that was Russian. And then the subtitles, said Wakandian or whatever, and I was just like, oh, that's cool. So he learned their language,
I just looked it up. It is Wakandan.
Wakandan. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a silly Easter egg. Outside the apartment, Sam, Bucky, and Zemo are hiding in. You can see the number 23. This could be a nod to Captain America Volume 5, issue number 23, which is a comic in the Civil War arc that follows Bucky.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a reach.
Well, that's the first thing I always go to, because you're way more steeped in the comic lore, and I'm kind of a Disney head. So when I see 23, I think D23, not the. That's the 23. I think is the year that Walt set up his first animation studio. He established his first animation studio in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I would not know those details.
Yeah. That's the first place I go. It's just like kind of a general blanket Disney thing.
Yeah,
like the Winter Soldier was held in cell D23.
So is that, you're saying that's a nod to Disney?
That's definitely. That's definitely a nod to Disney. Is you know that big thing where he
So the
was
cell, so the cell numbers I get, like the cell numbers I would catch, like the cell for oh God, I can't remember now. There was somebody's cell number was a nod to they used 218. They used 2187, which is Leia's cell number too.
Yeah.
I think maybe it was Zemo's.
I think that's right.
Yeah. But I don't like the note here with the photo I have is literally a building with a number 23 and an arrow pointing to it. Like I wouldn't catch the building numbers. Like, you try your best. Like when I watched Wakanda, when I watched WandaVision, I kept looking at the theater marquees every time they walked by the theater because it was a hint to what was happening in the episode.
Right.
Like if you really thought about it, right?
And they were threaded, like when one of the first WandaVision episodes, there was The Incredibles was on there, and then later in the series we see
they do the pose. Yeah. I was like, that's cool. That was awesome. So the other thing I have here is how when Zemo's like, were you followed? And Bucky's like, no, I always know when I'm being followed. Right? Like, and that tells you basically he knew that Io was there, like following them the whole time, right? He knew the second he broke him out that Wakanda was going to be like, what are you doing, man? You know? He's in a lot of trouble right now because that dude got away. So I don't know how he's going to win them back. Some silly thing. Zemo's wearing purple. I think I took this off of Get that Geek Den of Geek, maybe? I don't remember. So I was trying to figure out this other thing. So when Sam's looking for information on Donya, he's walking through that building, and everyone in the building, there's the red handprint.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the symbol for the Flag Smashers?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like so that people that are sympathetic to them, you know, can find them.
Well, I mean, it was in odd places, right? It was like on the back of a monitor. It was like the kids were cutting it out. Like, here's a shot of the window with the hands all over the windows.
Yeah.
Turkish Delight. I wrote Chronicles of Narnia, Turkish Delight. like in my head, I was like, is that a purposeful tie-in, or is it like something like is he about to become like the White Witch, where he tricks, like White Witch essentially tricks Edmund into betraying his whole family. So is he about to get these kids to betray, like, you know, he doesn't show up in that, you know, when they're like he's on the move, he knows where the location is for those people, right?
Yeah.
And he goes there, and then they're all running to get there. Like, Zemo's not there, right? So it's like, is he on his way to another location that he knows a secret to, or like, what's the plot hole there, you know?
Yeah.
And I do understand why Sharon's characters might seem like. So I made a note, like, she's casually walking through Madripoor, like, not afraid of anything, just talking on her phone. She looks like she's in a not so great area. And then, you know, she's walking through those gates and there's guards and everything. It's like, she seems like she's in a very position of a lot of power. So it could be she's working for the power broker, or is the power. I mean, if it turns out she's the power broker, that would be a plot twist.
Yeah, I would be disappointed to learn that.
Yeah,
I feel like she is. I want her to be a good guy. So I'm trying to figure out how she's a good guy and is kind of playing double agent or something like that. But yeah,
I mean, I was trying to. The only hint I got to her. I'm sorry. I was trying to find hints to Nick Fury. The only hint I got to Nick Fury was, I think, in episode 1, where that soldier's like, I heard a rumor that Steve's up in the moon, monitoring us all, right? And that's like a throwback to Nick Fury's got a station on the moon where he monitors Earth and the rest of the universe around us, right? So it's like, maybe. I mean, I'd be shocked if Sam Jackson showed up. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
You know, just like, this party's over. That'd be amazing. That would not be as amazing. Just plugs. Dude, side note, have you ever seen that Have you ever seen that interview he did? He was on a new show, and then the newscaster thought he was
Morgan Freeman or something.
Yeah, he thought he was the other black guy. Oh my god. Sam Jackson went off on that guy. I was like, I would too.
Dude, yeah. How could you? The whole time I was sitting there watching, going, oh, just like that was the cringiest moment. Like, oh god, you did not.
I was like, that anchor literally thought he was just another black man, and screwed it up. Like, do your homework. That's your job.
Especially on fucking TV, dude.
Live,
especially
yeah.
When you were talking to an A-list, he's not some chump that just shows up in the background of, SVU or something like that. It's fucking Sam Jackson.
That motherfucker will fuck you up. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
When people do things like that, I'm just like, I just usually turn the TV off and I just walk away. Because it's like all sorts of uncovered. Like my friend sent me, I'm not going to get into it. My friend sent me a interview with Geraldo the other day where he asked a black man, like, when the last time I think he was a senator, I forget, but Geraldo said, when was the last time you were in the ghetto or something? And the dude went ape on him, and I was just like, I shouldn't have said ape, I'm sorry, that's bad. He just went crazy on him, like, and I was just watching it for like a minute, and then I was like, this is making me uncomfortable. Like, it's just a sequence of questions where you're like, you didn't ask that right, and fuck Fox News. I'll just say that while I'm live too, because fuck them. Back to the show. I got the part in the note where he says, would you take the serum if you had it? And then his friend says, hell's yeah, which I think basically, I think he keeps asking his friend for advice on what to do. Like if you remember in episode 2, is that where they introduced Captain America? I don't remember. It was the end of 1. Either way. Okay, so like, you see his the dude's wife is there and telling him he's fit for the show, but then they send Lamar in next, and Lamar is kind of like this, like I said before, Lamar is like his moral compass, right? He's literally like, do you think this is a good idea? And Lamar's always like, yeah, man, he's a good supporter of his friend, so he's always like, yeah, do it. And then he throws on the mantle, right? And then he literally doesn't tell his friend he's got the serum. Maybe he did, you don't know, right? They don't really tell you. Those two just come bursting into that room, so it's possible he was like, you said take it, I have it. Boop, so it's possible he took it, and then he becomes that. Because he says, because Lamar said the power just makes the person more themselves. And then he says Carly Morgenthau, Steve Rogers. She goes Carly Morgenthau, Steve Rogers, and then the photo I have here is it amplifying back to the doctor who created the serum. It says the serum amplifies everything that is inside, so good becomes great. Bad becomes worse. This is why you were chosen. That's what he tells Steve Rogers, right? Yeah. And he says, because a strong man who has known power all his life will lose respect for that power, but a weak man knows the value of strength and knows compassion.
So he's describing John Walker.
Correct. That's that's from BuzzFeed, by the way. That's a good. I didn't think so. Here's the problem I'm having too. Is like, the throwbacks, right? Like that threw back all the way back to Captain America, First Avenger, the first one. So you're like, oh shit, the doctor literally told you what you're going to become. Like if you're a bad person, you're going to become worse. That's what happened to Red Skull. He was a Nazi, and then he took that, right? He wasn't going to become a saint.
Right.
I mean, his skin also came off. I'd be mad if that happened to me too, so.
I mean, what do you think of the chances that Red Skull is Power Broker? Like he somehow got back from across the universe.
No. That dude is that's his purgatory now, right? He's stuck there. I mean, I guess
I don't want that. I want him to come back.
I mean, the only way he would come back is like they had to return all the stones where they belong, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would be curious to see what's that place called? It starts with a V. Valinor? Let's go with Valinor till I get it right.
You're talking about the place where he was his purgatory, where the souls.
Yeah. Yes. Vormor. It's Vormor. Vormor.
Not be named.
Not to be confused with Boromir, who took a bunch of arrows to the chest.
Where was the soul stone? It was on. Man, come on.
Vormir. I was right. Who was Nancy talking to? Oh, my lord. These fools are here already. I said that live. My cousins are gonna see it later. I love you guys. I'll be right down. 4 more. So like,
you didn't say what you usually say to me in private about them.
Shh. But my point is if we're gonna talk about the stones being back where they belong, they took them all back. So you have to be like, how would they get back to? Like, you can't just walk in there and be like, maybe you can. You can be like, hey, we're just bringing this back to you, because it's got to go back there, and then because when the timeline gets rewritten, because in the original timestamp, Gamora gets thrown down there, Thanos takes the Soul Stone, snaps, and then when they reversed it again and snapped again, but in order to attain that stone again, since everything was reset essentially everything got reset, because remember he said so here's my theory. He destroyed those stones, right? Thanos says he destroyed them and sent them back. So the Soul Stone went back. But they have to go back in time. So Soul Stone's there again. And then Black Widow sacrifices herself and they get the stone. So it's like, do you just go back and give it back? Or do you go back and sacrifice yourself? So they don't tell you these things. So,
yeah. But
then the secondary factor there is, how does the Red Skull escape his purgatory? He's been there for, as far as he's concerned, he's been there forever. Side note, I was watching Endgame with my wife, and I love how everyone's been missing for 5 hours, and Ant-Man was only missing for 5 minutes. Remember, he says, "I've only been gone 5 minutes," and the world had been shifting for 5 years.
I thought so. I think you mean.
I said 5 hours. I meant 5 years.
Yeah, everybody's gone 5 years. He was out for 5 hours, right?
Something like that. Yeah, he was gone. He had a small timestamp, so when he came back, everything was so radically different.
Yeah.
Kind
of speaks to that time dilation thing, but anyway, I know it's not going to happen, but I want Red Skull back.
You know what? If they want to bring him back, they'll figure out a way to bring him back.
Yeah, I know. I want to figure it out.
Figure it out, man.
I also want what's his name to be him again. He was so good. I just want to say Hugo Mortensen. It's not
Hugo. It's Hugo Weaving.
Hugo Weaving.
That dude has one monotone voice. He never changes his voice.
But it's so good.
It's fine. I won't go as far as say it's good. Where's the range?
Oh, well, watch Priscilla Queen of the Desert. There's some range for you.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, see it.
You have to send me a note for that later. So another note I took was, and again, this is a numbers game thing, but the text that he gets from Carly once Carly talks to his sister reads, the timestamp on there is 3:12 p.m. BuzzFeed, again, it's BuzzFeed. This guy loves his numbers in BuzzFeed. So it says, this is probably a nod to Captain America number 312, which is the comic that introduces the Flag Smashers. So that, I think, is very cool.
Now, on Nerdist, Dan Casey said when Sam looks at his phone, it's 3:16.
Bullshit.
It's another nod. Now,
well, the screenshot shows 3:12 here. What's the 3:16 nod to?
I guess issue 316. I can't remember. I just watched it before I came down here. I don't remember exactly.
Did we all get different timestamps?
I may be getting that number wrong. I thought we were talking about different scenes because
I'm talking about the scenes where Sam's phone gets a text message from Carly, and it says the rooftop. Okay.
I'm probably getting the number wrong then.
You're not paying attention. That's what's happening.
Yeah, very probably. Always an issue.
I made a note of the knife flips that he does. Like when he's fighting Captain America, he does a knife flip. When he's fighting the Flag Smashers, he does a knife flip and then throws it on the ground. I was like, I want to see more of that. I want to see more of Winter Soldier. Like, he is fighting in the scene with the Dura Milaje, but he's not really like giving it 100%. He's really like, guys, slow down, guys, stop.
Right.
I don't really have anything else. The Bloody Shield. What's this? Tons of... Oh, okay. So BuzzFeed. This is interesting. At the end, they show after he killed that dude, all these people have their phones out. But if you watch multiple other scenes where John Walker is talking to them, like where they come down the steps and they're like, on their way to them. And like, if you just look at the background, there's people constantly... because the episode is the whole world is watching. So they're laying the groundwork for that final scene. Yeah, so people are constantly like recording him everywhere he goes, so people knows he's there. You see him out of uniform talking to his friend, grabbing a drink with his friend, and a random girl comes over and says, "Can I get your autograph?" Doesn't ask his friend for an autograph, but his friend was like, "Whatever." Yeah, I don't have anything else in the end credits. If anyone else has anything else to add to this, but this is the main problem I've been talking about since the first 3 episodes. It's like I can't find. It's literally just, I feel like it's a vehicle to push us into the next thing. And
I think that's what it was intended to be. It was, if I understand correctly, and I may not, but if I understand correctly, this was supposed to be the first MCU show, and it was supposed to come before WandaVision. That's why I feel like people are not reacting to this show the way that they might have reacted had they not already seen WandaVision. You know what I mean? So
I get what you're saying.
They turn the weird up to 10. It's chock full of Easter eggs and stuff, and
Yes.
we want more of that.
Yeah. I mean, because like when you watch WandaVision, you get all these little hints where you're like, you both know, we both did episodes on this, right?
Yeah.
Like they built up a Fantastic Four potential, a Doctor Doom potential, an X-Men. When they introduced Quicksilver, we're all like I was like, oh my god, it's happening. Everybody on the internet lost their goddamn minds, right? That's one of my, I've never had a tweet hit over 1,000 so fast in my life. Like I literally put up a gif of Steve Carell's character from The Office going, oh my god, it's happening, you know, and I'm just like, X-Men, you know, I've waited my whole life for this. And then, you know, like,
oh god.
And I'm not going to say 100% that we're not getting anything out of it, but I feel like I feel like the reason we're not getting an X-Men introduction in these episodes is because when you introduce the X-Men, they want to introduce them as a movie.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know. I feel like what they're doing in these shows is we're going to come back to appreciate those Easter eggs again after the big X-Men reveal. That's kind of what I think.
I feel like there's stuff we're all missing.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna get back and we're gonna be like, how do we not see that?
Yeah.
It was right there, you know. So like, okay, well, unless you got something else to add, we can start wrapping this up because I'm trying to think if I saw anything else cool in that episode. So let's see. Lamar is potentially not dead.
One of the things they talk, you kind of touched on this a few minutes ago, but they kept talking about supremacy, and because they're talking about the supremacy that you're just given if you take this serum, and not everybody's meant to have it.
Correct.
So it comes down to why it's so important that Captain America isn't just somebody, that he's not a John Walker. It's got to be Steve Rogers, and it has to be Sam Wilson. I think that conversation is telling us that it cannot be anybody but Sam.
Yeah, because like it's blatantly obvious at this point, right? Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That is a good way to put it. I didn't think about that. Yeah, like they constantly call out to, like they say it over and over, like you deserved, like Steve chose you. Multiple people keep saying that to him, right? And I'm curious to see how this Wakandian thing plays out. I'm saying that wrong. I know. Like they're not going to just let Zemo go. Right. Most likely they won't kill him because he's a good character. So they'll probably end up putting him back in the prison, and I feel bad for Bucky's character because now he potentially has bad blood with the Dora Milaje, but at the same time, people make mistakes. So
yeah, I think that I think that by the end of this series, he'll be back in their good graces, maybe possibly. But I want Zemo to stick around because he didn't make a huge impression on me in the movies.
Correct.
You know? He was kind of laid back, whatever. But in this show, man, he has really showed out. He's a real character, and I've enjoyed him.
Did you watch the Zemo cut?
You were talking about the dance party.
Yeah. I was like, that dude's got some moves, man. It just keeps going. It just kept going. I was like, someone said, did you watch the Zemo cut? And I thought, oh, cool. They released some kind of Easter egg I should be aware of. So I went and looked up Zemo cut, and I'm just like, all right, this is not so bad. You know, not what I wanted, but not so bad.
I found that YouTube video for my kids last night right before bedtime. I was like, "Hey guys, watch this," and it was just a 1 hour loop of that.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, this guy's having a good time. Like,
Yeah,
hey man, if I was getting paid $1 million and they were like, hey, go dance on camera, I'd be like, sure, I'll be right back. The last thing I was gonna say was I loved how at the end of the sequence where they're fighting in his apartment, I think her name is Nomi. I forget the name of that specific Dora Milaje character, but she steps on the shield and it comes up to it, like launches on her arm, and that's that sequence when Captain wrecks everybody in the elevator and he steps on the shield. And I was just like, I thought she was going to take it with her, and then Io was like, leave it.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, well, it kind of sort of belongs to them anyway, and because it's we kind of got that material on a shady kind of way,
but it's not. Whatever. I feel like it edges on them thing. It's not our problem.
You think so?
Yeah, they're very focused on like, this is our issue right now. That's not the shield being in somebody else's hand is not their problem.
I interpreted that differently. I thought it was them kind of knowing that the shield does need to go to the next cap.
I mean, I don't know. They could have just handed it to Sam on the way out, right? Like, this belongs to you. That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been badass.
But they give it back to John. And well, they probably gave it back to him because they're like, this, again, they're all about teaching lessons, right? So they probably gave it back to him because like this fool's going to learn a lesson. Yeah. And he did. He basically now ends up killing a dude. So it's like, and he's all over the internet because you saw people just filming it. So they're not going to just be like, that Captain America killed some dude cold blood, Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to the fallout in the next episode, just because they're probably going to decommission him. Yes. And then like I said to you, I'm hoping that he's going to come back in the last episode as U.S. agent or whatever. It may not be U.S.
What does he become? What does he become when they take him out of that picture? When he's not U.S. agent anymore, doesn't he go rogue as something?
I don't know. I didn't stick with it that long.
Okay. Speaking of going rogue, I was trying to explain that shit in Endgame to my wife when Hawkeye becomes Ronin.
Yeah.
And she's like, what's going on here? I'm like, I don't know. He's just mad killing people. like, I didn't have a better explanation for that. I was just like, he goes crazy. His family's dead. But then he just like joins up with the Avengers again, right? He's just like stabs that dude and he's like, hey, what's up, Black Widow? Oh, that's cool. Let's go.
Yeah,
just like,
right.
It's so.
I'm hanging on this stupid haircut.
Well, I mean, you got the same haircut, man.
That's right. That's me.
My hope is, this is the last thing I'll say about Endgame is, when the Snyder Cut came out, it did so well, which we should do an episode on the Snyder Cut if you haven't seen it. Watch it first. But it was so well received. The brothers who did Endgame and all those Marvel flicks are saying they're going to release the full cut of the Endgame stuff, which I feel like then we'll get the little piece of the missing puzzle to how he doesn't just stay Ronin and he comes back to being Hawkeye.
I'm kind of hoping that he gets a movie, a la the Black Widow movie.
There's a show coming out.
Huh?
There's a show with him and his daughter.
But is it going to explore Ronin? That's yeah.
Probably not.
Story.
Maybe not. The problem. We got to get off the subject. But the problem I have with that character is he easily takes down that other dude with a sword, who's probably a very well trained samurai or ninja of some sort. And this dude's been firing bows and arrows all day, and now he's freaking wielding a sword, and you're just like, man, he's a weapons expert, but sure.
Yeah, right.
Like, and speaking of Endgame, I forgot how much I love Thor in that movie.
Yeah.
It's like so much love for that character. But okay, let's start wrapping this up. Unless you have something else to add with the Falcon Winter Soldier, I am probably going to go research all the end credits again to see if I missed anything, because I'm sure I did. What I've been doing is watching it all the way to the very end to see if there's any, because like in WandaVision there was 2 episodes I believe where they had a little Easter egg at the end, and you're just like, oh, I missed that, right? Especially the last one, everybody knows I forgot to watch it past the credits.
Not making that mistake again.
That's never happening again. I got so much crap for it for weeks. So then, but then if you, yeah, well, at least you didn't send me any spoilers. Yesterday you're just like, woo! I'm like, as long as that's not somebody's name, we're golden. um, if you can make yourself available in 2 weeks after the 6, you said there's 6 now, right? So
Yeah.
we'll do a final recap, kind of similar to WandaVision. So we'll get like everybody who was on before do 1, 2, and 3 plus you, and we'll do a final recap at the end.
I hope I can.
Well, I mean, 2 weeks. Plan ahead, see what you got. You know.
I'll see what I can.
No pressure. We just won't be friends with you anymore if you don't. I'm just kidding. All right. Well, anyone who's watching, I appreciate you guys watching as always. This episode will go live as soon as I'm done here, and then next week. Here's my notebook. Next week is the 20th. No, next week is the 17th, and my guest should be Miranda Meeks. We're gonna do one on horror films if she's still available. I have been having a hard time getting a hold of all my guests. I'm guessing everyone's just busy. This is the problem with future booking guests. You just have to make sure I don't want to be annoying and keep messaging them, but you know, I'm gonna have to call Miranda. She hasn't messaged me back. Cool. Let me take us offline. Give me a second. I can close this. And I'll close it. Thanks for watching, guys.